I'm Barry Trammell, and the Big 12 is not dead league walking. Yet.
Yeah, well, it's not that far from being a dead league. From the Opopco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. Press Row is brought to you by Cox High-Speed Internet. Barry, we now know A&M is on the way out. They've announced it, that their intention is to leave the Big 12. What happens next?
Well, I think some hardy souls will try to keep the Big 12 solvent and keep the Big 12 viable. But frankly, it's just getting to be tougher and tougher for that to happen. The pool of teams that could lift the Big 12 back up is pretty scarce. Those that could do it don't want in. Even those that are questionable, Brigham Young, may not want to be in. To me, it's just an uphill climb to keep this league solvent. I think the guys that did it, DeLoss Dodds, Joe Castiglione, Dan Beebe, they gave it the old college try. It lasted a year longer than we thought, but I just don't see a lot of optimism for the Big 12.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know if it's necessarily all bad. I wrote on my blog yesterday, amid all the turmoil with Texas A&M, that this really does seem like the dawn of the Super Conference. When the Big 12 formed 12-team conferences, it was kind of like, whoa, this is huge. Now we're really on the cusp of 16-team conferences. SEC looks like they're probably heading to 14 with A&M and another. You could conceivably see if the Big 12 breaks up, that the Pac-12 becomes a Pac-16. The Big 10 maybe expands to a larger group too. I hate that because you do have such differences in the conferences. The football feels different in the SEC than it does in the Big 12. Feels different in the Big East than it does in the Big 10. But I think that's the way we're headed, and I just don't know if there's any stopping it at this point. The money's too big. You've got too many splinter groups, especially in the Big 12, that it just doesn't feel like it's going to stay. And Barry, you and I, we've seen the Big 8. We've seen this since you always knew that Oklahoma was going to play Kansas State, Nebraska, Missouri. Now obviously Nebraska gone. I just don't think we're much longer for this Big 12 either. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.